Like I said on the phone, I've got a tiny stutter just off throttle. Literally that, like just put tension on the cable.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Okie dokie.
Just where you're trying to go around a roundabout.
Yeah.
That tiny little bit of just off idle that you need to drive around.
Yeah, just a little bit lumpy and then it pulls through.
Well, it's actually got Morse code.
Yeah.
It's going,
Yeah, the first thing normally when I get a bike in like this with a misfire, we'll have a look at the thermal imaging camera later on, see sort of check the temperatures of the header pipes. And see if there's any anomalies there, and see if you can trace it down to like one cylinder, because if it's been stood up a long time, it's had some fresh fuel run through it, but you could have like a slightly varnished injector, or a spark plug playing up on one. The secondary throttle valve plates are up inside. It's got like sort of a set of throttle valves connected to the cable, but then there's also...
So really, everything could be related to just time.
Just stood still.
3 years later.
Time.
Yeah.
Corrosion issues and stuff like that.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not.
It is stuttering straight away.
Yeah, it's stuttering.
Yeah, it's like the fast idle.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have a fast idle.
There is this actuator here is on a pivot shaft, and it just might need a little bit of lubrication
just to move it,
free it up a little bit. They're all running fairly similar temperatures.
They're all about the same, aren't they? Right, so we've got a direction. Should we chuck it on the lift, make a start?
Yeah, let's go. Might have to have a second run at that.
Yeah, I reckon. Your lift's greasy. Your bloody hernia.
Because there's such a fat tyre, it is harder to get it in the front wheel chock, because they're generally designed for the 120/70.
What, on your own?
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that.
I had to have 3 attempts at it, and I was like, I'm going to have to go and phone someone in a minute.
Could have got well messy, that, couldn't it? Yeah. Got it. That weighs a ton.
10 mil.
Tight, aren't they?
Yeah, a bit.
God, blimey. They're definitely factory plugs then.
Yeah. This is the Tune ECU interface, so we can have a look at the fault codes in the ECU, and also have a look what map's in it. Then I can go into the map database to see whether it's a standard map or whether it has got a performance map available. And if it hasn't, we can upload that to the ECU. So we find diagnostic lead.
That's handy. Right there.
Go. So information 355. So we'll take a note of that map.
Right. Is that that's the name of the map?
That is, yeah, that's the map in the ECU. So then we can check that against the database. So checking for error codes, and there's no historic codes or current codes in the ECU stored, so we know that that's fine.
Excellent.
Testing adjustments. We can check stuff like idle speed control, radiator fan, so you click on that.
Awesome.
And there you go. Look.
Oh wow, look at that. And that's being controlled and actuated by the laptop.
Yeah. And then all we got to do is run it out, sort of run it up for 12 minutes.
Right.
Without touching the throttle, and then that'll reset the TPS sensor, idle speed control valve and stuff as well.
Nice one.
So this is a secondary throttle valve map in the ECU at the moment. You can see 4th and 5th gear is restricted, so it's open 100% till 4,500-ish RPM.
Right.
And then it shuts down at high revs, it goes to 35.
Right.
So that is restricting top end power. And obviously 1st, 2nd, 3rd gear, it only ever opens to like 72% really.
Right, got it.
Yeah, so that's
you're not
restricting
getting
the power.
So both primary and secondary are both restricted.
Yeah.
Now we lost the sound here, so just to explain, here you can see John with the stylus completely deleting all restrictions on the throttle bodies. So the primary and secondary restrictions, once he's done this, are completely wide open and 100% de-restricted. And we'll load this into the ECU once we get it on the dyno.
But yeah, it's not a quick like. So on the 80 to 100% throttle, low down in the RPM, the power commander was trying to drag 30% fuel out.
Drag it out?
Yeah, drag it out.
So it's under delivering what it needs.
Yeah.
It's running lean.
Yeah. So on the power commanders, a 0 is no fuel adjustments, so it'll be running factory
Right.
fuel in.
Right.
Where if it's a plus number, that's a percentage extra fuel.
Right,
And
yeah.
a minus figure, which like -4 there is -4% from standard.
So why would a power commander...
I don't know. I think obviously whoever's fitted the power commander originally is just bought the power commander and used the off-the-shelf standard map in the power commander and just chucked it on.
Plugged it in.
Just chucked it on the bike and.
Yeah. So it's not been tuned or anything. It's just been plugged in, right?
No.
And that's just all over. So that's why it's faltering and stuttering at 2000 because it's
Quite possibly,
running
yeah.
32% lean.
Yeah.
That's pretty dangerous, isn't it?
I've put like 15-20% extra fuel in low down because it's running that lean.
Yeah. It's just starving
mental.
it. Literally fuel starvation.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we've opened the butterflies up and de-restricted
so we're
the
running,
secondary butterflies. There's a lot more air going in.
So everything's running wide open.
You're going to have a bigger demand for fuel
Big hole
to
in the
make
map,
it
right.
run properly. I've looked at the fueling of the target air fuel ratio. It's around about 13.2 to 13.5, which is fairly standard for like sort of most bikes to get them to run well. And we'll go through the low speed and roll-on fuel mapping. And yeah, we'll tweak it and see what it comes up with.
Nice smooth power.
got rid of that stutter, which we thought was a misfire caused by possibly coil, like sort of TPS sensor, something like that. It's got rid of all of that. Now you can hold it at 1,000, 1,200 RPM.
It's lovely.
And it's just nice and smooth.
And it was just fuel.
Just fuel.
All this was just about fuel. Purely nothing more than not enough fuel. So the power commander was the problem.
Yeah.
It was just sucking fuel out of it.
Where they've just thrown a power commander on with the base map. I'll open up the power commander map now in a minute, and we can see the difference in the fueling. And there's no minus figures. It is all plus.
Nice.
So you can see where it was before: minus 31, minus 27, minus 8 at 100% throttle. And there's a lot of low figures as well in the other TPS settings.
Right.
There we go. So that's the new map. So you see where it had minus 31, minus 27. It's now plus 18. And everywhere else in the map as well, there's like massive plus figures, because it was running so lean before, it just wasn't pulling. And you can see by these figures here, like there's...
So as a message to people watching, if you're going to spend money on tuning goodies, aftermarket exhausts, aftermarket air filters,
which
power
none of it is cheap.
None of it's cheap, but also none of it's relevant without coming to see yourself or someone like yourself and get it custom mapped and fine-tuned. I mean, why wouldn't you want the most possible from all that money you've spent?
It's a nice bike. The exhaust system's probably 1,000, 1,200 pounds.
£2,600.
Yeah, so why would you just throw that on the bike and not want it running to its optimal performance? And it just wasn't before. It just wasn't running well at all. No. So custom mapping is definitely a necessity.
Yes, that's the point. It's a necessity, isn't it? You got what, £2.5 grand exhaust, £400 worth of power commander, K&M filter. You got nearly £3 worth of kit on the bike, and you're not getting the best out of it. It's just mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
lovely.
Definitely not.
Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
Fantastic day.
Happy
I appreciate that. I'm going to put links, listen in, to John's website. John does YouTube videos as well. I want you to tune in. I want you to watch his YouTube videos. I want you to subscribe to his channel. I never say that, but I really, really mean it. People like John are making riding a modified motorcycle possible, because in modern day, with fuel injection, ECUs and things like that, we can't set them up like we used to 30 years ago. You need professionals, highly trained, talented, skilled professionals like John. So come and see him, give him some love on YouTube. He will absolutely appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon.